All right, all right. Thank you guys all for coming. Appreciate you bearing the traffic. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. So I go by the name Lenwords. Some of you might recognize me from the Respect the Connect podcast with my good friend Johnny James. Thank you. Johnny couldn't make it here, and neither could Jason, unfortunately. Had a family emergency, but I am here as your host, and I am very proud and feel blessed to bring on some friends who have had really brilliant careers that continue to ascend, and they've been an inspiration to me. Hopefully they'll be an inspiration to you, share some kind words, and we're going to talk a little bit about the future of film in the state of New Mexico. So how many people here are filmmakers? Everybody? Just about everybody? I got a young fellow right here, so I'm really glad he's here. So I think it's really important because there is a future for film in a lot of small towns. Everything's not in Hollywood anymore, and these people are some of the people who are proving that that is the case. So the first person I'm going to bring up is my good friend Alejandro. I'm going to read his bio. Ian, can you bring up his slide? Would you be so kind? Thank you. Alejandro Montoya-Marin, born in Laredo, Texas, and raised in Mexico. Alejandro began his career in film by studying at the prestigious Vancouver Film School. In 2018, he was hand-selected by director Robert Rodriguez to be a participant in his documentary series Rebel Without a Crew. The film he produced on the show Monday was screened at the 2018 South by Southwest Film Festival. Yeah, that's something. Alejandro's follow-up feature film Millennium Bugs was crowdfunded and ultimately distributed by Indican Pictures. In 2022, he was inducted into the New Mexico Film Hall of Fame. Yeah. The following year, 2023, he co-starred in Eva Longoria's film Flamin' Hot and joined the DGA. His third feature film, The Unexpecteds, was selected by the LA Times as one of the 8 films to watch at the 2024 LA Latino International Film Festival by renowned film reviewer Carlos Aguilar. He's currently at work on his 4th feature film, 90 Days in the 90s, based on the novel of the same name. Please give it up, Alejandro Montoya-Marin. All right. Thank you, sir. You just sit right there. Sit right there. Thank you. I got my notes in the phone. Sorry, guys.
Thank you guys for coming.
All right. So next I'm going to bring up the other person I've had the pleasure of having as a friend for a very long time, Matt Page. Matt Page is an actor, writer, and director best known for creating the martial arts comedy web series Enter the Dojo and starring as the lead character Master Ken. His videos have received over 300 million views on YouTube. That's really something. He has performed the Master Ken live comedy show across the USA, Canada, Scotland, England, Wales, Germany, the Netherlands, and Australia. Matt Page has also appeared in feature films including The Paper Tigers, Sicario, Shot Caller, Maze Runner 2, Scorch Trials, and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. His television appearances include roles in the Netflix series Messiah and Chambers, NBC's Night Shift, and AMC's Breaking Bad. In 2023, Matt wrote, directed, and starred in the feature-length action thriller Cop vs. Killer.
Hell yeah.
Give it up for Matt Page.
Yeah!
All right. And my new friend over here, who I met a long time ago, didn't get to hang out too much, but this is Shaandiin Tome. Shaandiin is an award-winning DNA filmmaker based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Each of Shaandiin's films is a mesmerizing exploration of the human experience, delving into the lives of individuals from various backgrounds and shedding light on their endeavors, triumphs, and the unique perspectives they bring to the world. Shaandiin is known for her film Long Line of Ladies, a film about a Karuk, did I say that right? Kadak, sorry. Girl embarking on her Ihuk. See, she got to give it to me. Okay. Ceremony, which was the best documentary short winner at South by Southwest and premiered at Sundance Film Festival in 2022.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, give it up, give it up.
Yeah.
Her previous narrative short film, Mud, premiered at Sundance in 2018. Shaandiin's cross-cultural experiences allow her to collaborate with other trailblazers in capturing untold stories among the indigenous community, both as a director and cinematographer. With an unwavering commitment to authenticity and a desire to challenge societal norms, Shaandiin continues to push the boundaries of documentary filmmaking. Her commercial work spans brand companies such as Ralph Lauren, Vox, Levi's, Nowness, and Brooks, as well as media organizations HBO, MTV, and ESPN.
Hell yeah.
Inspiring viewers to reflect on their own lives and the world around them, Shaandiin aims to bring her perspective as a Diné woman in creating a bridge between cultures, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for the differences that make us human. Give it up for Shaandiin. Tome.
Yeah. And she's shooting a short film very soon.
Yes. So, you guys, already, thanks for coming. Again, I wanted to not start at the beginning, but I wanted to kind of start at where you guys are right now. You guys have all been in the game for several years now, and it seems as though there are a lot of people who don't have the perseverance that you guys have displayed in your careers. And I'd like, Matt, if you could, just tell us a little bit about what it takes and what you found it takes to continue to have a career in film.
Yeah, good question. So I would say that my definition of that has kind of expanded quite a bit. When we all started, we were doing the 48-hour film project and making our own short films, stuff like that, and then I was able to get some roles in some of the films and TV shows that shot here. But as I got into YouTube and then figuring out how to monetize social media, in order to make a living as an artist, working in media just became the thing. Like wherever I could perform or use a camera or tell a story became varied, and that's what I've really focused on. So I do still occasionally. I take film projects as they come up. I sort of have been a lot more interested in independent projects where I can do more. I've done the thing where I sit on a big $200 million movie for 10 days so that I can say one thing and have it get cut. And it's fine, I would get paid, but I would be like, gosh, I really wish I was, in the movie. And so I get a lot more excited when things come to me and they're like, well, we don't have much money. I'm like, hey, what is the thing? Like, what do you want me to do? And then when I read it and I like it, then I'm okay, I'm excited about this. So, and I would say lately I get one or two of those gigs a year where I get to be on set for a couple of weeks and just do something I'm really passionate about, and then spend the rest of the time focusing on, I do two versions of the Master Ken thing. I have the social media aspect, which generates revenue on its own, and then that creates opportunity for live performance. And I get paid to do appearances at events or to do I have a live essentially a stand-up version of the YouTube stuff that I do, and that is the way I've been able to earn a living, is by sort of taking all the components of writing, directing, performance, and just figuring out where it will fit, where it can be monetized. So
nice. So Shaandiin, similar question in a different vein though, because I feel like where you're coming from is very unique. I don't know personally of a lot of people in your position who are speaking and representing the culture that you represent in a major way, and I think that's extraordinary. What do you think that you've found over the years that has contributed to the longevity of your career?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think for myself, I've always just wanted to be in film, and like ever since I was a little kid, I had been like making VHS movies with my brothers and making like stop motion Lego stuff, and really just had an excitement for it. And when it came to college, I really just wanted to be involved in film in any way. And I think throughout my college experience, I got to grow as an artist and learn a bit about the stories that I wanted to tell. I know, like, when I was younger, I wanted to write and direct, but I don't think I understood, like, what that meant for me in terms of, like, my perspective. And as I have gotten older and grown and learned more about myself and, like, my identity and, like, what things I want to say, I think I've gravitated a lot toward modern Indigenous stories and like how I can share and spread the word, and also create representation for people that isn't currently there. And I think it's incredibly important for everybody to do that, to create all different types of like genres and interesting films and like books and art from where you come from. And I think it's important for perspective for the whole entire world. That being said, I think when you talk about longevity, it's very difficult and taxing at times, because when you are representing a culture and like you're coming from a place of sincerity and honesty, it can be very difficult, because that is what you're seen as, and that is the expectation of your art. And that comes first over art, and it comes over creativity. And so you really have to fight and push past like what the checkbox is for you to understand, or to prove yourself as an artist, and not just as like an identity in a way, or like a checkbox. And I think it's difficult in a way that sometimes it feels like you're selling yourself out. Sometimes it feels like you're not doing enough for your community. You're carrying a weight on your back that's very difficult, and it's hard to represent sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, I just want to be an artist. Like I want to like be creative, and I want to do the things that I want to do. And it's very difficult sometimes to realize like, oh, I have more than that. But also that's like the responsibility that you carry. Like that's, it's important. And it's a responsibility that I think is worth carrying. And like, I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to like suffer because of it sometimes. But then also I think the other side is like, I get to bring other people up, I get to bring myself up, I get to see something in a future that I might not be able to see within my lifetime, but it's a future that will sustain itself a lot longer than me.
All right, thank you.
Very well said.
Thank you. So one of the things that I noticed Shaandiin mentioned was that she has always wanted to be a filmmaker. One of the things that's always stood out to me about you, Alejandro, is that seems to have been the case since birth.
Yeah.
That you knew you wanted to be a filmmaker. So here you are now, almost 40? You're past 40?
I'm 43, yo.
43? Okay. So you're into this life now.
Oh yeah. No kids.
What it was.
For me.
Yeah. We're not going to get into that. Okay.
Not here. I see there's a kid
Yeah,
here.
yeah. No, kids are good.
Do
Don't
film.
listen to him. My question for you is, what does it feel like now versus what your expectations were early on of what this career would be?
Oh, I thought I was the second coming of Christ. I thought, I thought I was going to revolutionize cinema and all that crap, and nope. And it really starts with the pandemic. If the pandemic didn't humble you, nothing will. Nothing will. And honestly, like, meeting people that love film and that want to continue and that push, like, that's cool, man. I think that's something that has been forgotten. I think that we all are trying to get the approval of Netflix, to look at stuff, to make things look a certain way, that we just kind of forgot what punk rock is. And I think that that's why I wanted these guys to come up, because it's It's different. Everything that you guys have done not only have inspired me, but I know that it's inspired people and vice versa. Like I see Ryan, I see a lot of people that I love and that I've missed and that are here. And it's really cool because technically the question is the same thing that's for them, because everyone here is still in a certain, the majority capacity in film. So that means that tenacity is also felt there. It's loving cinema. It's when you start becoming somewhat successful when you're young, I feel like the steak is only going to get a certain steak. It will only taste the same or get better to a certain point. The whiskey, it only gets to a certain point. So then immediately in time, you start kind of like draining the ego, you know, and you start realizing why you're doing it. And it's because we loved going to the movie and seeing Jurassic Park or Jaws or fucking whatever. And the new PTA movie, good Lord, it's brilliant. And going to the movies and just being consumed. And I love, and it's not even something that we did, but I know that as filmmaker, I don't know about you guys, but after you see a movie and it's so raw and so powerful, I love going to a bar and just sitting down for a couple of drinks, like, tell me what you thought. What was the cinematography like? Hey, did you hear that sound? I love it. I love film. And it sucks that now AI and all that crap is going to start taking that thing away. And I'll go through that route. But because we all kind of grew up with Rodriguez and Tarantino, the gorillas, dude, the ones that didn't ask permission to make shit. That's why I was also like, we should have a panel of people that have done stuff, because it's like, we shouldn't wait for them. We really shouldn't. Why? They're going to tell you when you can fucking create and upload? No way. Anyway, because I love cinema.
So you've loved it your whole life.
All my life,
Your whole
man.
life.
Like everyone here.
Got you. Has anyone in here directed a movie before? Anyone? Yeah?
I love it.
Wow. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Give it up for yourselves.
Exactly.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, man.
Do we have any writers in here? Writers?
Nah, lift your hands up.
Keep
Yeah,
your hands
you
up.
go like this.
I'm one of them too. All right. Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Applaud for
Good.
the writers too.
Hell
Applaud
yeah.
for the writers
Right
too.
on.
They're
Right
the
on.
ones that start the train going.
They never get applause.
Right on. So one of the conversations that we have in our private circles often and have had often is about above the line opportunities
Hell yeah.
here in this state. There's a lot of people out here who have a lot of great ideas, a lot of potential, and they're looking for the door. Is there a doormat?
A doormat.
That was a joke.
Was that on purpose? That was good.
Hilarious.
A door into above the line jobs here.
Yes.
I think the answer to that is, again, in the context that I'm familiar with, the good news is there is a door open, regardless of where you live. If you are going to go into the space of using the tools and the distribution networks, the platforms that are available to anybody everywhere. I'm still amazed. It always makes me feel old when I say things like this, but this phone shoots better looking video than anything I had available in film school.
Fuck yeah.
And I can edit it on here and upload it directly to a distribution platform where the entire world can see it if I can get their attention, and that's incredible. I'm constantly looking for creators and studying channels and channels and creators who have managed to figure out a way to make a living doing what they want to do, whatever the type of content is. Whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Snapchat, like there's every single platform is a potentially life-changing opportunity in order to create your own content, find your audience, and deliver it to them. It doesn't mean that it's easy, and it doesn't mean that you can just do that through creating content. You have to find a business model that goes hand in hand with that, whether it's offering services that you're trained in, or selling a product, or getting sponsorship, or traveling for appearances. But you can live as an artist and use the tools that are available right now at no cost, at whatever the cost, not no cost. I mean, you got to pay for the phone. But like if you have an internet connection and you have a phone, you can create pretty much anything and find people who are willing to support you in doing it. So.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. So, something of a follow-up to that, Shaandiin, I want to ask you, out of all the new models that you've seen come over time in the last few years since you've kind of been in the game, what excites you most in regard to independent opportunities and things that you can kind of be a self-starter and call your own number?
Yeah, I mean, I love short films. I think like I have been to a lot of festivals and watched a lot of shorts, and I think more than anything, they're the most passion-fueled and the least restrictive. They take the most risks. They want to do something different. And I see the most of an artist within shorts, and I think I really love that because of it. I think like websites like Short of the Week, like Vimeo, like you have access to all of these things that you can watch, and like it's inspiring to watch and like see how you could make something different, like whether it's like on a phone or with like a webcam or like whatever. Like I feel like you're starting to see like the emergence of like a lot of people who are like YouTubers making like feature horror films and that kind of stuff. And I think it's really interesting to be able to see like that transformation of like storytelling through all platforms, whether that be like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like books, newspaper articles to movies, Twitter articles to movies. Like it's literally kind of endless. And so I fully believe that like just making the stuff that you want to make and being passionate about it does more for yourself as an artist than I guess the attention does. And I feel like you grow with your art, and like sure, you might not like the project that you made like years back, but you see yourself in it. And I think if you put yourself in it, you get to be inspired by the things that you make. And I think it's important to just keep making things. I do a lot of like branded commercials, which are like documentary commercials that also feel like shorts in a way, and they feel like I get to use budgets to be able to like make the thing that I want to make, take risks like with cinematography or music or whatever. And it's a really fun space to be in. I think, yeah, I love creating stuff, and it takes me a little bit longer than other people, but I think I'm usually really happy with the stuff that I create.
You're not the only one.
I wanted to piggyback on the thing that you mentioned, the crossover of like the YouTuber world and the filmmaker world, because it's been so interesting to me to see creators who figured out the social media space first and then are discovering filmmaking. I was watching a TikToker who was getting more interested in trying to learn about cinematography and things like that. And he had already had an audience, already had a platform, made a living on TikTok, and he did a video saying, I'm really excited about like learning these new things. He's like, there's this really old movie, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called The Godfather. And he's like, it's kind of slow, but it's kind of cool. And he was like discovering film in reverse, where he was and starting. And the interesting thing about as the YouTube space and the social media space has become more competitive, the production value and technique has had to go up because there's so many creators out there. And so now a lot of young creators are learning how to apply filmmaking technique to this new space in order to set themselves apart. And so it's a weird evolution of the process in that way.
And even down to like, I don't know, you guys might get pissed off at me for saying this, but like influencers and stuff, like they're learning how to light themselves, like they're learning how to edit, like they're learning how to like use like composition in order to like shoot food or like restaurants or whatever. But like that's interesting. It's a form of filmmaking. It's a form of storytelling, and it's stuff that I consume and watch. But like that stuff can translate in other ways too. Like you see the power of like story and like film being applied to like all different kinds of mediums, I guess.
Yep.
Nice, nice. Now, Alejandro, you've been a storyteller for a long time. Have there been any shifts that you've noticed or recognized in modern storytelling that you could speak to that have changed or affected your approach to telling your stories? Like, what inspires you? What's new that excites you? Anything?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
please do.
Just trying to hand you that one.
I'm gonna think about it.
You think about it. One of the things that makes me that comes to mind is the fact that there's been a lot of fluctuation in viewing habits the way people consume content. And when YouTube was newer, it was shorter was better, and then it kind of ended up in this sort of middle ground where like 5 to 7 minutes was the ideal length for a lot of content, and now there's this sort of broad spectrum, but the middle ground is going away, where people either are responding to short vertical video content that is 90 seconds or less, or very long content that is actually the length of stuff we watched before all these platforms got popular, like sitcom length, or hour-long drama length, or feature length, or 3-hour podcast length. The middle ground is starting to go away. You can still, it's still recommended that, so one of the formats that people can think about when they're creating, one of the most successful formats for a lot of shows is you have your long form, whether it is an hour, hour and a half, 3 hours, whatever it is. You then cut half a dozen 10-minute clips out of that, and then you cut a handful of vertical videos out of that, and then people have multiple access points to find you for whatever piece of the content you create that interests them in the platform they find it on, if that makes sense. So you're going to get the lowest amount of viewership on the longest form, but those are going to be the most dedicated viewers, and you're going to add to that number by creating the short form versions of that long form, if that makes sense. And you can monetize all of those. So it just becomes multiple opportunities to, you are ultimately creating one piece, but the way that you divide it up and where you put it can make you money.
Get attention. You get the attention from different markets.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh. Hello.
So do you have anything to add?
I do. I mean, my intentions to get into the production have not changed. They haven't. I think maybe they did to a point where, but this was the first project where I just didn't care what people thought. Like I would always try to like, oh, I gotta prove myself. I gotta be a little bit more artsy. And I think The Unexpected was the first project where nope, you're just gonna make a movie that you would like and make it organic and not pretentious and listen to people's opinions, and there it is. And that's it.
Nice.
The way we market it definitely has changed, especially with what Matt said, because the marketing right now is very important. I go to meetings I'm still not represented because I feel like they just really want to constrain you to do something, or that's my experience. But immediately in meetings, they're starting to go like, oh, you have this amount of followers, this person follows you, or it's like, what about my movie making skills? They first immediately is like, who follows you and then it's about how you make movies. So you could take that and be like, man, I'm not gonna make movies anymore. Or you can attack it from like the reverse. And as you're filming, you're already like, well, let's shoot in 6 or 8K so then we can punch in and create reels. My boy Ian Perez, my editor, and one of my best friends, definitely as an editor, the more options you have to then like market in different ways, because you know everyone's doing the whole 2 actors and, oh, what do you think about this bag of chips? Oh, it's great. But that's going away, I feel. And I think that the more creative you can come up with the marketing and how you're going to get people's attention. And I'm saying this, and I don't even know if it's going to work for The Unexpected, so this could bite me in the ass by February. But what I'm seeing in engagement on Instagram is the collaborating aspects of posts and creating something that has your essence, but also like adapting to the other creators' aesthetics and stuff.
Got you. So have you guys found that there is value in studying or practicing the short form of storytelling?
1,000% for me.
What are the main differences that you've noticed between longer forms versus these like minute long or 3 minute long or very short pieces?
Well, I've done like commercials of different lengths, anywhere from like 5 seconds to like I don't know.
5-second commercial.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, like
Those
things that-
pre-rolls, like
yeah, and it's insane, the expectation for storytelling within like the flash of an eye, and I don't know, that stuff is uninteresting to me. Like at that point, people are just scrolling past. Like, you know that it's not like whatever you're doing isn't necessarily capturing someone. It's just about profit, and I feel like that doesn't necessarily interest me. Like, I worked for a big company that basically what they did is like I made a commercial and they went and tore it apart into 300 different assets of 10 seconds each, and they A/B tested all those assets to find out within their algorithm which one was the most successful of all of those.
And then you have to replicate that.
And that is how they make commercials in the future. And it's all algorithm. It's nothing that's interesting. It's nothing that's captivating. There's no creativity in it. There's no thought process through it. They like literally just tore everything apart and are just trying to find out for themselves like what is going to be the most profitable. And I think that is something that like isn't really talked about, is how like film and capitalism meet in a way, and how detrimental that is to creativity and art, and how a lot of people like see their demise as artists when it comes to how do I make money. Like obviously we have to sustain ourselves, but there's ways in which these large companies, these large like whether it's like Facebook, Instagram, like all these places, or Disney, or all these other things, like you're making something for the sake of an algorithm and for maximizing profit. And I think that is completely crushing art, which is why I like indie film, because people get to say the stories they want. That's why I like short film, is because like there's nobody touching that. And you're most passionate, and you're the most yourself, and you're the most expressive that you want your art to be. And I think that gains a lot more attention than making something, and this is my own opinion, like a Marvel movie or that kind of thing.
Got you. Now, you did mention before, though, that you wanted to kind of break out of the check boxes. What does that mean for you?
The check boxes and what I just said?
No, earlier you mentioned, and maybe I'm hearing this properly, that you felt constrained by what labels people might give you as a filmmaker, and that sometimes you felt like you wanted to express yourself outside of those domains. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think I guess a lot of these check boxes that I talk about are things when they relate to like commercials that I've made with big companies telling you what they think you are as a person and how they want your art to be formed. And how they don't really want your perspective at the end of the day. And this is just me being salty, but they want to control you to a point where they have your name, they have your acclaim as a filmmaker, but they get to still say the things that they want and keep you within a box. And I think that is the disheartening part of, I guess, like what I had just said. But I think breaking outside of that is like, I guess like the fight between like, do you want to make money? Do you want to like be creative? Do you want to spend a lot of time on something? Like and that's like how I think of projects, is like of those three pillars, like you're going to have two for the most part. Like you're going to get to choose to be creative and have little time. You're going to either make money or it's going to take up a lot of time. Like you're not going to have all three, rarely. And so you kind of have to pick and choose what you want. And like, I mean, I like have had really great jobs, but there's times where I feel very unfulfilled by being paid, and like it's great, but at the same time like I feel so drained as an artist, and I feel like there's not a lot of creativity in that. And so like doing like right now like a short with my friends and like using a grant and that kind of stuff, like it's really fun to be able to do that and like try to like get back into like the indie spirit of things and do things in like the least budget possible and like try to make something stellar with like no money. And it's hard, but it's so much more fulfilling than making tons of money, I guess.
Gotcha. Now, Alejandro, you've had experiences kind of getting it out of the mud, no budget sort of scenarios that she's talking about.
Yep.
How do you feel that those experiences have helped to develop your filmmaking?
it's allowed me to not concentrate so much on the problem, but immediately start getting solutions going. Where before I would be like, woe is me, or why this, and immediately I just go, of course, let's go.
So you like playing in the sandbox of kind of limited resources to kind of figure your way out?
I don't want to stay in that sandbox. I'm used to it because it's like, pues, I don't know. A lot of combinations of things. Like I PA'd, as several people here know, I PA'd on a bunch of projects in New Mexico, and it wasn't fulfilling. Like they talk down to you. They're just so disrespectful. They're always, not always, obviously, but there's a good community of people that always think that, and good, I mean large, that they come to New Mexico just to get the workers. You know what I mean? And I always hated that shit. So, because we would always like, hey man, I know filmmakers that could do stuff. Like there's Dan Mathis that has a web series, or Aaron Alexander. There's Holly has a movie. Dude, there's other people that people should check out. But wait, what was the question? What was I deviating to? I'm gonna come right back to it.
I don't know where you were going.
No, I know.
No.
But what was it again?
No, the question is about operating through limited resources and how that's affected your
My
style.
point being is, if I knew that I didn't have money or it wasn't coming soon, I created the solutions to those problems. By on weekends we go shoot, or the 48, or film festivals. Like when I worked at Telemundo, I used to get vacation time, and I used all that vacation time to go to film festivals. When people told me, you're just wasting your money, you're just wasting your money, you're just wasting your money, but you know what I was doing is setting up a flag in New York. So now I can fill a 200-seater in New York, or 400 in LA, and it's utilizing what you're doing, but then maximizing it. You're going there to network. You're going there so you start picking up on those little things, and you start kind of filling in the blanks to hopefully get you to the next goal and the next stage.
Got you. So the resources that you have, you're trying to maximize the output and get as much as you can out of them. So when you're creating something from scratch, I'm gonna throw this one at Matt, because Matt did a whole movie last year that was on a couple of streaming platforms. That was incredible. So you wrote that, you directed it, and you starred in it.
Yes.
How are you still breathing today?
You know, the acting and directing thing, people ask me about that a lot, and actually that was the easiest part, because the creation of Master Ken, which is a show that I write, I had years of practice. We have over 500 videos on the YouTube channel. By necessity, I have to do a take and then watch it back and be like, all right, no, I gotta change that, lose the opening, that was too slow, that punchline doesn't work, and then go back and do it again and be like, that's almost there, and then do it again and be like, okay, good, now I can move on. So that part was actually, I'd had years of practice of that part. I think the most important lesson I learned on my first feature was my misconception about what makes a movie a movie. I kept thinking, well, this is a movie, it's more important, and I need certain equipment, and I have to spend certain money, and if I don't have this, then it's not a real movie. And I've one of the examples, I don't think the cinematographer's ever heard me talk about this. Someday he's gonna hear it and be mad. But he did a great job. He did an incredible job. We shot on an Arri XT something. It was an older Arri model, and it looked great. He did such an incredible job with no money shooting this movie, and we ran out of money. We finished. We left a bunch of stuff out of the script that I thought, well, we're in a hurry, and I probably don't need it anyway. And then I cut the movie together, and I was like, oh, we needed all of that. And so then all I had was a Blackmagic camera. And I was like, well, I'll just go and shoot like a few pieces of what we need until I can get him back. And went and shot that stuff and cut it in, and it looked fine. And we couldn't get our schedule together, so we ended up shooting probably 25% of the movie and some pivotal scenes that are like very important to the movie. And not one person commented going like, did you shoot on different cameras? Because this didn't really match this or that. And the reason I bring it up is that like we spent, probably the camera department got most of the budget. like a significant part of the budget. And it's fine, I approved it as a producer, thinking it's not a real movie unless we shoot on this camera. And that left entire departments with no money. And that was a horrible decision as a producer. I should have just said, can't have that camera. Can't have this camera. This is a camera. We already own this. This doesn't cost, we already own it. And there were several decisions I made throughout that thinking it's not a real movie unless, and that's not real. Like if you take whatever resources you have available and you make the thing that you can with the resources you have available. And you don't leverage yourself, you don't charge a bunch of credit cards, you don't leverage yourself in a crazy way where you can never recover and never make another movie. You just take what exactly you have available. We disagree on this all the fucking time. We have had such intense fucking argument. I get so mad. I get so mad whenever he tells me about how he does stuff.
We've done conversations where I call him and I'm like, oh, did you see this movie? And then we just like start talking for like an hour.
I love it. I love that we think of this so differently, but I could have made another version of that movie completely differently in retrospect, and I'm glad I went through that because I know in the future I don't need to make a lot of those same decisions. So I think it is important to craft, like, I feel like I've heard Rodriguez talk about this stuff, like make a list of the resources you have available and write that movie. Don't write a movie you can't afford to make, that you can only have if you have this location and that you need a helicopter and whatever the fuck. Like, write a thing you can definitely make and then make that the best version of what you can. I personally think that's the best way to grow as an artist, so that you're focusing on the storytelling, you're focusing on the directing, you're focusing on the acting, you're focusing on the writing, instead of like, oh, I can't do this unless the whole thing is built around a volcano and we got to do it in CGI and whatever the fuck. Like find a way to do it with what you have available, because there's so much you can do with the creative aspect of it without all that stress of the financial part.
Okay.
Reverse engineering your script. That's key.
I thought you were going to argue with me.
Nope. Not yet. Give me another hour.
Another beer.
Hey, anyone want to go get it around?
So you guys spoke a little bit about kind of just activating your ideas. Once you get something, just go. Shaandiin, you're actually shooting something now. Is that right?
This weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah.
What can you?
Right.
Yeah.
Go watch the short film when it comes out, yo.
What can you tell us about what you're excited about this project? Like, what's?
Oh man, I'm so excited for this project. It is about a dad who goes on a revenge car chase, basically, and wants to be like the hero of his own film, essentially. And he's trying to prove himself to his kids. And I think for me, it's like a really exciting thing because, I mean, I've just like worked in like drama a lot and like really sad stories. I was like an emo kid and like I really just loved to be in touch with my feelings, and I'm still in touch with my feelings, but like I think for me, like, it's fun to do something more exciting and genre, and I guess just like play around with like performances and like make something that's interesting and new for me. And I'm really excited to venture into something different and do it with friends and have a good time. And yeah, it's been a while since I've made a last narrative project, and so it's really fun to see how I've grown and how I'm different. And it'll be exciting to look back and probably be frustrated with myself, but then also be proud of myself too. I don't know.
Nice. So a lot of you guys are familiar with Alejandro's work. He's in town promoting The Unexpecteds. Ian, would you mind queuing up the trailer? If you guys haven't seen the trailer, we're going to play it for you now, and then I'm going to do some follow-ups.
How do we?
What?
Yeah, let's watch it.
And we also want a live commentary from Alejandro.
Yeah. Did the director commentary?
Yeah, that guy, I don't like that guy. Like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I love what he's just like, yeah, he's a real good guy.
We are live in 5,
The World Wide Web,
4,
a digital Wild West
3.
for scammers and Bitcoin peddlers.
Today is
Can you turn it up, please?
the day of your life.
Today's the day you meet me. When I was a kid, I survived.
Can we get more volume?
And duct tape sneakers.
You're poor for a reason. It's
Your choice. I'm helping so many people make millions.
Influencers promising quick wealth, squeezing hard-earned dollars out of desperate dreamers.
Thank you guys for trusting me, because I can truly see how bright the light shines on this very special group. Here!
I'm sorry. We lost it all.
Did our money just vanish into thin air?
I lost my entire safety net. My savings are gone.
One day you're on top of the world, and then life gives you a good old-fashioned ass-kicking.
We're here.
Thank you.
Because of you, Gabby. Sign the papers.
Maybe you should audition for OnlyFans.
I'm trying to get my life together, okay?
I might have another way to get us our money back.
No one gets in between me and my money.
So, when do we begin?
We've already begun.
What are you up to?
I'm just trying to do everything I can to get my family back.
All right. That was fun.
That's a
That was
fun one.
So, how'd you come up with that one?
I saw a bunch of YouTube and I saw a bunch of people scamming people and they don't get anything done to them. No repercussions.
So that was the inspiration.
Oh yeah, I started seeing just Bitcoins left and right, and then it's, whoops, you lost your money, and then they're still not in jail, and there's so many, So I was like, oh, I wish I could do a movie where they get the revenge, the people that get scammed.
Nice, nice. Now, let's go back to the genesis of that idea and fast forward to now. What's the timeline? How long has it taken from then till now?
That's cool because a year ago we were here promoting it at AFMX. That was a year ago. And it took all to now to tour the film festival circuit, get deals that were horrible, get deals that were promising, and then when you start reading the contract, they want a lot more. And then there's deals where, hey, there's a juicy minimum guarantee, and then you start breaking down everything, like they get paid first, you have no creative say, the timeline is ridiculous. Like we were offered a really good minimum guarantee, and that's kind of like but it doesn't happen that often, and it's not even.
Does everybody know what that is, a minimum guarantee?
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah.
Anyone know? Yes.
Yeah. A minimum guarantee is what a distribution company offers you for your movie.
Upfront, right?
Upfront for your movie. Yeah. And then they sprinkle in the deals of like, what are you going to do for a certain amount of time? And their job is to tell you no, pretty much. Until they see like, they didn't give a shit about the movie until, oh wait, Kevin Smith's involved? And then they gave a shit. And then it started being like, well, what do you want to do with it? So what we did with the minimum guarantee, oh, Matt's going to love this. We put it right back into the movie.
Oh my God. Why are you allergic to making money?
I swear. Yeah, because, well, and then I leveraged I don't know. I leveraged marketing. I leveraged like how to distribute the money and stuff like that, and I hope it hits. Yeah, look at Matt just going, oh my God.
Oh, did he? On the corporate card? So Dan's satisfied. All right,
Yeah,
great.
exactly. So
it's been a long process just getting a feature out. That for some people is a lifelong dream. Why is it, do you think, Alejandro, that you've been so successful at piecing together these feature-length projects and continuing to kind of grow your budgets, grow your name over time? Like, what is it about, whether it's perseverance, like what's the approach? What's the mindset that gets you from there to here?
I think it's a combination of things. I think you guys can attest. It's not just where you shoot the movie, the concept, the team, what you've done. Like, I feel that what I've noticed in the past 4 or 5 years is when you're starting out, you can verbally say your dreams and what you're trying to do, and people's eyes just roll. And you can tell as time goes by, they're not rolling that much, and because you're proving yourself. It's 7K got me 70 got me 600K, and then 600K is hopefully getting me 3 million, and that's because it's the same thing. It's who the hell is gonna give you money if you can't make 50K? It's very simple. Yeah, so I met someone a couple of years ago, and she was like, I want to be the star of the movie. And I go, but no one knows you. And that's insulting. It's like, okay, you're super famous. Now, how are we going to get 1,000 people to pay for your movie? And it's simple. It's you have to start proving yourself, and you have to show to investors that no matter how hard it gets, you're always going to finish the project. Like, that's a given. How many projects do you guys know that they shoot it and then they take years to edit? That's why, and you know this, and so does Ian, I pay my editor first, because then it's up to me to be lazy. It's true. It's a good cheat, because then I'm like being lazy, and I'm watching a movie, ordering a pizza, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready for Enjoy Sunday. But your movie's not edited. Cool, enjoy the pizza. And then that motivates me to text and like, okay, what are the notes? What can we do?
Got you. Now, Shaandiin, they've talked a little bit about investors. What's your favorite investor story? Go.
Nice.
I mean, I don't really work with investors.
You've
because
never. Well, how about stakeholders? Because you have worked for big corporations.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Give us a story. You don't have to give us names. Just.
It's just. Receipts. I feel like I'm uninterested in. Like, I'm interested in expressing myself, and like this is probably where we're very different. And I don't really care about making all that much money. I think at the end of the day, like, I look to the stuff that I made when I was a kid and how much happiness that brought me, and how fulfilled I am by it. And I use film because like I can't talk, like I can't do a lot of things, but I can put something together and show myself through an art form. Like, I can't paint, I can't do all these other things, but I found filmmaking, and that brings me a lot. But I guess like with the investor question, I don't know, I've worked with a lot of like really pretentious people, really like money forward people, and I think it's not a good excuse. Especially because like a lot of the stuff that I do revolves around like who I am and my culture. And I think there have been times where I've sold out and I've felt awful about myself, and it's not worth feeling awful, and it's not worth feeling like you have put your community down, you've put your people down for the sake of a large corporation. And yes, they can throw as much money as they want at you, but like at the end of the day, they're not gonna have to be the ones who live with those decisions. They're not going to be the ones who live in their community. They're not going to be the ones who have to report back to that. That's going to be you. And that is like a responsibility that you have to carry with you, and realize that like more often than not, those people aren't looking out for you. They're not looking out for your creativity. They're looking out for their product, their money, and they really don't give a shit about you for the most part.
So Matt, how many times have you sold out?
What was that?
That was a wonderful, beautiful thing you said, and I want you to stick to your ideals. And I just kept thinking, it'll get easier. Just the first time is the hardest when you get into it, and then like, and you buy something, and you're, oh, that's nice.
I'm not saying I don't have money.
I have an investor story.
Go,
Can
please,
I tell the investor
please.
story?
Yes.
So on Cop vs. Killer, the feature that I did, I was the only reason that movie happened is because I was kind of tricked into believing somebody had some money. And I had been in this position many, many times before, but I just chose to believe it this time. And I started just moving forward as if this thing was going to happen. And I got within I can't believe I did this, but I got to the point where I had hired people, I had reserved equipment, had locked locations, and the budget was supposed to be a minimum of $50,000, which I was told the investor had, and we got within, I think, 3 weeks of shooting, and the only amount of money that was in the little LLC account was $700 that I had put in, because that was the minimum that you had to put in order to open that type of account. And we had several meetings with the investors, and they kept forgetting to bring the check. And I even drove we shot it in Truth or Consequences, and it had the last straw was I drove down there to get the check to have the meeting, and they were like, oh, we left it in Albuquerque. Yeah, and so I called them a couple of days later, and I said, guys, I'm so sorry, I gotta cancel the movie. And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, there's no money. And the thing is, people are about to buy plane tickets. I got people coming from California. I got, we can't just keep going with no money. So I hate to say it, but I got to cancel the movie unless I can have the money today. And they would start with their thing, well, tomorrow I can. Either I have the check today or I'm calling everybody and canceling the movie. And I meant it. And they said, look, there's a check for $20,000. It's in an unmarked cop car. It's a picture car. It's in Santa Fe. It's at this address. And if you want to go get it, you can go get it right now. Or if you want to wait until tomorrow, I can go with you. And I did, give me the address. And so I hang up the phone. I turned to my fiance and I was like, honey, do me a favor. Pick a nice restaurant in Santa Fe that has really good cocktails. Because we're about to drive up to Santa Fe for no fucking reason. And there's going to be that check is not going to be there, and I'm going to be pissed. So I want to have a drink immediately afterwards. So just pick a nice place to go to. So we drive up to Santa Fe, find the address, find the unmarked cop car. He said it was in the glove compartment. I opened the door, opened the glove compartment, empty. And I am right in this neighborhood that I don't know. I'm like, I fucking told you that guy's full of shit. She's like, did you check the console? No, I didn't check the console. He said it was in the glove compartment. Check the console. We drove all the way up here. I open it up, and there's a check for $20,000 made out to the LLC. And I was like, well, it's not going to cash. And we drove to the bank. It cashed immediately. And I was like, well, shit, I guess we have to make the movie now.
Did you go get that drink?
We went and got that drink. It was a celebratory drink. But the whole time that day, I was like, what am I doing with my life? How is this a real thing? And we ended up, it turned out that investor was unable to get us the rest of the money. We had to get another investor in order to fill the gap, and I had to put in some money and all that. But really the only reason that movie got made is because we had kind of just made the decision that it was gonna get made. And that 20 grand, that one turning point of them at least having that money was the reason that got made. Because I really was gonna cancel it. They didn't have anything else that we needed the whole rest of the process. But because once the boulder was rolling down the hill, it was like, well, we're gonna shoot something. I don't know, we're gonna shoot some version of this movie is gonna happen, so.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice, nice. Alejandro, you got a story?
It didn't happen like that, but when we did The Unexpecteds, it was supposed to be a budget of $350. And I was like, psh, I got that. $7K, $70, you got it. And then the unions and then locations and then so we were way over budget. And I just said, fuck it, we're just gonna start shooting. And I did because I thought that, they're gonna see it, and they're gonna see what we're shooting. And it was the first day of our shoot, the scene we're in the hangar with Ming Chen, and that was really cool because the investor saw it and he started seeing it, and he just goes, "How much more do you need?" And I go, "Another $250." Okay. And that was badass. I felt great, but I didn't know that it was gonna happen.
I remember him calling me, being close to shooting, and just being like, you fucking think that like if you get further in your career, like you have more money, that it's easier. It just gets harder. You spend it on bullshit. He's like, I just spent $70,000 on insurance for what? He's like, I'm never gonna see it. It's like you're not gonna see it on the screen at all. So even when you have more of that money, it's like it goes to invisible things. It goes to like things that you don't get to see on screen, which is just part of the process.
Oh yeah, you're a little late. Everyone in the meal pen.
All the overages, all the union overages, and everything.
Good Lord.
Nice. So managing budgets is a whole nother skill set that you have to acquire. What about the business side of it, Shaandiin? What have you learned as a business? I know I keep starting with you with the tougher questions, but oh my God, are you serious? Okay. Well,
he's getting another beer.
Dan, you want to come up?
Get me a beer. Can you get me a beer?
Okay, he's done. He's cooked. Shaandiin, when it comes to the process of becoming a business person in the film industry, what do you think you've learned over the years?
I think it's probably like 80% business and like 20% creativity. It's all emails. It's all like talking to people. It's pitching. It's doing all of these things. It's putting together budgets. It's signing documents. It's all of this stuff, and you have to be really on top of it. And I often see a lot of filmmakers and I'm like, oh, you're just a really good business person. Like you're and I don't know, I see other filmmakers that are like really struggling, and I know if they had those skills, like they would be the most incredible person and like the most seen artist. I think about like my brother who like sucks at like emails and responding to people. He's way more creative than me. He's the one who should have been a filmmaker, not me. And like I just so happen to be good at doing this stuff. And so like I call myself out on it because like I feel like a lot of people that I know who are incredibly creative and talented lack the side of business, and I feel like that is very unfortunate that is what you have to do to survive in this industry for the most part. But yeah, it's a lot. It's taxing, and sometimes you're like, when will I ever see like like a creative thought? But I don't know, it's worth it at the end of the day. It's like really fun. I think I'm also saying this because like I'm producing a short, or this short that I'm doing, and it's taken so much out of me, and like I'm just so excited to get to the shooting part of it. Nice. But I mean, it's all worth it. It's just like a lot more than you ever think it's gonna be.
Got you. Nice. Now, Matt, when you're in that producer's chair, how do you tender the balance between what you want to do creatively or how you want to perform creatively versus what you feel like the production is capable or what you can expect out of the team? How do you decide we're going to do it this way and not that way?
Well, I will say that the version that I have the most experience with is the social media model, which is a very low impact model as far as like the amount of resources we have. A lot of the times it's about who the guest is on the show, or the location, or what we're promoting, or so it's honestly what turned the channel around in a big way was that when I was making content for quite a while on the channel, when it sort of moved away, we started with like kind of a sitcom format where we had a whole crew, and then I was like, man, you can't make any money like this. Like this is really, we would do crowdfunding things and couldn't generate anything like, and we also couldn't get everybody together very often. So then we started doing these smaller skits, and it was like, okay, the skits are a little easier, but I would buy props. I would get this idea and I'd be like, this is a pirate video. So I would go to Party City and spend $300 on pirate costumes and props and be like, this one's gonna go viral, and then it would not. And I was like, then I'd resent this $300 video that I made that made $5 or something. What we accidentally discovered in the process of making, it was actually the third season of Enter the Dojo, was one of the perks they could get if they got to the $100 tier was that they could get a personalized video from Master Ken. I'd say like, tell me your instructor's name or the martial art you do, your dojo, and I'll make fun of you. And we'll just give you a quick shout out. and we sold almost 100 of those.
Nice.
And then I was like, shit, now I have to shoot 100 of these things, you know? I was like, how the hell am I gonna do that? I was like, well, we gotta do them. We sold them. And so I just wrote very quickly, very brief jokes about 100 of these things and shot them. And we shot them all in, I think, 1 weekend. We were there for 8 fucking hours, but just shot as many of them as we could. And some of them weren't bad. And then I thought, I wonder if we could put some of these on the channel. This isn't really what we do, but we'll put them on the channel just for filler. And some of those videos got more views than the episodes. And then I was like, oh my God, I've got my business model completely upside down. I'm putting all this work into this thing and trying to will it into getting the views that will pay for the show. But if I do this shorter content that costs literally no money, it just costs time to get in front of the camera, say some funny things, very low tech, and put enough of that content out, that will fund the other things that we want to do. And so the rule became, for a lot of the content on the channel, the filler stuff has to cost $0. We start with 0. So every single video will make a profit. We come up with a funny idea. What me and Joe Conway, who plays Todd, my assistant, our rule, yeah, Todd. Our rule was, duct tape and coat hangers. It was whatever was in the dojo. If we had an idea, if we couldn't make it with duct tape and coat hangers, we couldn't do the idea. And you'd be amazed what you can do with duct tape and coat hangers. And so for our model to grow it into a profit model had to start from the videos initially can't cost anything, because that way everything was in a profit margin, and then we began to build videos from there. And then once in a while, once a few of those videos went viral and we got offered sponsorship where someone wanted to give us $1,000 or a couple $1,000 to mention a product, it was like, okay, so now if we want to spend some money on this, now we've got a little bit of a budget. We can get a nicer camera. We can buy a cool prop or some funny costumes or something like that. But that was the beginning of turning it into an actual business, a business model that made money.
Ooh, I like that, and I like where you're going with that. One of the conversations I've been having with friends and a lot of people in and out of the industry is with the new technology, AI specifically, that's come into filmmaking. How do you think it is most prudent for people to apply themselves to using the new technology rather than being used by it? Go, Alejandro.
Jesus.
I want to go bitch about it, and then I'll tell you what you should be doing with it.
Go ahead.
He gripes about AI
Tell the
all
people
the
how
time.
you feel, Alejandro.
Gripe about it.
I hate it.
Good.
Man.
Why?
I hate it.
Why, Alejandro?
Because it takes there's a reason why the first 3 Star Wars look better than the episodes 1 and 2 and 3. It's very simple. It's just well, that's to me. To
okay.
me, I don't know. I feel that kind of maybe it's the same example as musicals, where I can't get into musicals because once they start singing in the street, I just go, well, that's shit. That doesn't happen.
You don't like musicals?
Some of them I do, but not all of them. I like Moulin Rouge. That was good. Grease.
That was a good one.
Grease was great. But wait, what was I saying?
Why don't you like AI, Alejandro?
Oh, I hate it.
Like AI.
Because it's so uninspiring. It's such a cop-out. I feel like it's just showing people look, I can do what you did, and I didn't try that hard. And I feel like that's what it is.
That's what you think.
I don't go up to any art form and go I can fucking do this. Cooking, architecture, anything. And it just feels like, why does it have to happen to the art form? And that's fine, man. More people get to do art. But I liked going to the movies, and there's a reason Christopher Nolan movies hit, man, because it's real. You're seeing shit. You're seeing the actor develop, and it's not just a combination of. I feel like no one could have told that story but you or my story, because it has so much of personal elements into it, and I think that's what gives any type of movie its own zest, its own flavor.
I see. Okay. Matt, it sounds like you have an opposing opinion.
Listen.
Oh, here we go.
It's a tool, okay? And it doesn't have to, you don't have to involve it in all the creative aspects of it. Like it can be, like the amount of time it could save you is incredible.
But people won't do that. People will be like,
why are you
we'll
worried
save
about what
time."
other people will do? Why don't you worry about what you do on your movie? No one's forcing you to use AI, and you should use some AI tool. There's a plugin called Firecut. Plugs into Adobe Premiere. I can set my long take in there, and I tell Firecut to go in, remove all the silences, and zoom in every X number of cuts, and it will provide me with a rough cut of my interview or my long form video in seconds. And then I can go through, I don't have to waste an hour going through. I know I'm only going to use this much of this, and it will save me hours of assistant editor time that I can't afford to pay somebody else to do, and that I don't want to do myself. There's an Adobe sound filter. For some reason, it doesn't exist within the app. You have to go to their website, but it is an Adobe podcast app. You can have the shittiest sound. I've been in this position a couple times where my mic failed when we were shooting something. My lavalier, the battery ran out and I didn't notice. And so the second half of my audio is not generally usable. I take this sound, I upload it to their AI sound engineering, and in seconds, it sounds as good as my lavalier. In seconds, and I don't have to become a sound engineer to learn how to do that. I allow the tools to do the work for me. So I think there's an incredible amount, particularly for people who don't have the budgets to hire specialists in all these areas. I think AI is going to give artists an incredible opportunity to create high quality work and save them time so they can focus more on the creative.
Okay, so we're 2-1 for those of you who are keeping score. Shaandiin?
Isn't it 1-1?
No, I'm on Matt's side, dude.
Oh, man.
You're crazy. I use, for those of you who watch the Respect the Connect podcast, we record that to a switcher that is recording all 4 or 5 cameras at the same time. When I take that hard drive home, I plug it into the computer, I do an AI smart switch, and it gives me a rough cut in a half an hour. By the time I've taken a shower, it's already done, and I can clean it up from there. Oh, it's a luxurious shower.
It's a steamy shower.
I have time for it now. Shaandiin, though. Shaandiin, what do you think?
I like watching like the AI like TikTok stuff, but like really stupid things, and like you look at it and it's like uncanny valley, and like you're like, why is this a thing? And like, is this how something represents humans? And it's like really cringy in a way. I don't think it's a good tool. I am on Alejandro's side that like I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is a lot of like these tools that you're using, they're uninformed decisions. They're not decisions that are made by you. They're not representing your art. Like, yes, they clean up, they do all these things, they do menial tasks, but I feel like people learn from those things. And like, yeah, the world does have AI. Like, it's kind of like inevitable at this point. Like, people are gonna use it. There's no going back from like what we have now. But at this point, I would choose to kind of like inform my own decisions. Maybe I'll make really cringy, stupid TikToks and like see like what it thinks about like who is a Jeep owner or like that kind of stuff and like laugh at it. But like outside of that, like it's a joke to me. It's not necessarily something that like I would use for my art.
Okay. So you haven't tried it yet?
I mean, like with Adobe stuff, like generative fill and that kind of stuff. But like even then, I'm like, I would just rather learn how to do it. And like, I don't know, if I'm gonna use a tool, like I want to know how I'm using it.
Got you. Is anyone out there prompting? Generative?
I see some hands.
Yeah. I love it. I personally love it. I'll get on my soapbox right now. But I think one of the really big advantages that I was talking to Alejandro about the other day that he didn't quite see the light yet.
I was like, what?
One of the main concerns I think we all have is the loss of employment opportunities, right? We don't want to see people losing their jobs, losing their homes, losing their livelihoods due to the AI infiltration. However, the specializations that you had before can now be translated to different techniques, and prompting in and of itself is its own specialization. So if you spend an hour a day, couple times a week, you will be way ahead of the class, and you will be learning at the cutting edge of this technology that will put you in the pole position for your own careers. So while I respect what we all do and what we all have done, I think it's very, very important to not miss the opportunity to use a tool that is so functional and really such a firestorm to the community. We don't all have to be victims of the technological shift. So just keep that in mind, everybody.
He's like, that's it on that.
That's all. That's all. I'm not selling anything, I promise you. So
here's a word from our sponsor.
No, right. So we have a little bit of time left. I wanted to leave some time for audience questions. I'm going to hop down off the stage. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask these kind folks? All right, I'll be right there. I don't have to go far. Not you, this guy back here.
Poor Leonard. Now the other one. Hey,
hold on.
Someone
I got you.
corner should ask us.
Hey, thank you, all three of you. All three of you are an inspiration. Shaandiin, I think you're using our projector in your short this weekend.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
It's a great projector.
Awesome.
I tested it, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, we got it for $300 on eBay. So.
Whoa.
Yeah,
it puts in like numbers compared to my little tiny one.
Right on. Matt, that story was like amazing. I'm a software guy by day, and when I first started my software business, like, the situation you were describing is not so different from finding checks in weird cars and whatever. So anyway, yeah. But actually, my question is for Alejandro. Alejandro, I'm an immigrant, Peruvian originally, and you're an immigrant that's bounced back and forth. As you know, we're under attack right now. How has that impacted your storytelling? How has that impacted the way you do things? It's 2025, and things are fucked up for us. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Damn.
So politically, how do modern politics affect your storytelling?
Well, I don't want to get into it too much, but this just happened to me like 3 days ago, and I was telling Carlos Montoya, we went to Fox with Kevin Smith to do an 8 a.m. interview, the interview that came out, and they were like, woke up at 5, drove for an hour, we get there at 7, and they mic you up, and when we got there at 7, we sat down, and then this super like young 25-year-old like executive, comes in, blonde, green eyes. I'll tell you why the green eyes in a bit. And then she came in and she goes, obviously we were all approved, and they go, Alejandro, bad news, you're not going to be able to be in the interview. But as a good news, we're going to make this a Hispanic Heritage Month article. And I'm like,
without you?
And then Kevin Smith was there, and he goes, wait, you're going to bring the white guy for Hispanic Heritage Month? And he goes, that's fucking stupid. I swear to God, he got up, and he's like, he said this, my publicist was there in case you think I'm exaggerating. And she's like taken aback by it, like, they're just flat out telling us now, even though she approved it. Yeah. So he goes, the film salesman should be the filmmaker. Go get him mic'd. And they mic me up, they go in, and if you watch the interview, the first line that Kevin says goes, yeah, because I'm the best poster child for Hispanic Heritage Month, right, kids?
Oh, that's
said
that
the
reference to that.
First
my
he
God.
was pissed.
Yeah.
So I get you, homie. There's ways of telling us, there's ways of preventing for things to go out, and they just put little barriers. And they could say with a very passive-aggressive comment. And the reason why I said the eyes about that girl was because when Kevin was rebuttaling and trying to like, no, your rules are not gonna apply, she went into this weird facial like the computer was not connecting. The CPU started glitching, and her pupils went like this, and it was weird. Her eyesight could like penetrate whatever was in front. She was like looking past the wall, kind of like in a self mode to like, don't listen, don't listen, don't listen, don't listen. Got it, thank you so much. And she went to go get it fixed. So it's, I guess it's going to happen. It is happening. It has happened. It will happen. And I try to do it in a way that it doesn't feel like it's hitting you over the hammer, because then we can give them an excuse to bitch about it. So I try to make a movie that's universal, where people win, and I'm hinting at things. I don't have to prove that I was smart, right? If the people watch the movie, then there it is.
All right. All right.
Nice. Thank you. Good question. Oh, my boy Dan.
Uh-oh. Just kidding. Hey, Ryan, Matt, Leonard, Alejandro, when are we getting more film students, guys? Come on. Let's do it.
Oh, man.
Hey, what's old is new again, right? That's what they're telling us.
That'd be really funny to bring that back.
Reboot.
We should shoot a movie.
Anybody that
It's
doesn't
not
know,
the first time.
That'd be wild.
I just want to see you guys in tank tops again, mostly. That's really what it's about. For you guys that don't know, they did a web series a bajillion years ago when we used to do 48s and web series and stuff called Film Students. Is it still
It's
around?
on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find
You
it on
should
YouTube.
absolutely find it.
Yeah.
If you want to see these guys.
I was Alejandro's nemesis.
It's
Dude,
the best.
that's how we met. So this guy started doing Enter the Dojo after we met, right? It
Yeah.
was right after we
Yeah.
met. And we did an episode where my character, I play a very, very, very drunk and exaggerated version of Alejandro. So Alejandro on a Tuesday. And Wednesday or Thursday. And the joke of the whole episode is that it would have the reveal of, what's it called? The Usual Suspects. So the whole part of the episode is we're film students that graduate and work at a grip house. So everyday adventures that we had at the grip house would turn into a movie. You know, like there was one episode where Leonard goes in, or someone stole my beer, and I suspect it's Leonard, so it becomes The Fugitive. And then, that shirt. And then the Matt Page episode was, anytime Matt Page would come to the grip house, everyone was in love with him, and everyone was like, he's such a nice guy. And I'm like, I don't fucking like him. I don't know. And the whole episode is everyone just like, dude, he just helped a bunch of those kids, man. I'm like, yeah, those kids were fake, bro. And at the end, everyone...
Like a Kaiser Soze moment.
We do the Kaiser Soze where, well, I guess I lost. And then he with Chad Travis, I love Chad's character. He just rolls up anywhere. And that's how we met.
Yeah. Go find it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. It's a fun show.
All right, we got a couple more. Hold on.
Film students, I haven't thought of that.
Man, thank y'all for coming. My question is for Matt. You said you made a lot of mistakes. With the information and the knowledge that you have now, in like 3 to 5 steps, how would you go about your YouTube experience with the information that you have now?
That is a good question. Starting today, you mean? How would I apply that, or?
Well, say if you could go back and do it all over with the same knowledge, like what would be your steps to start and to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I would create more content more often. I would have engaged with the audience earlier. Because I came from a traditional media background, like I was spending weeks editing an episode, and once the show had caught on, I was still making the fans wait for quite a while for the next episode, and they'd be like, it's been 3 weeks, and I'd be like, I'm not done with the color correction yet, thinking that mattered, and it didn't matter. What I should have been immediately gone from a weekly release schedule to 2 episodes a week, maybe more, just to build that momentum, because that would have grown the channel. The more often you give the audience what they want, the more the platforms will reward you for it. If you are creating the content that people want to see and packaging it properly with the proper thumbnails, the proper titles, the tags, the metadata, the platforms. The good thing about the algorithm is that once they find an audience, once they connect an audience with a creator, they want you to create because they sell ad revenue based off of that. And so they will drive more people to your content if you are giving people what they want. And we were giving people what they wanted and didn't know it until way later in the process. So if you find yourself creating and you are lucky enough to catch a wave of engagement and viewership, double down, triple down, lean in, because you can grow that so fast. Within a year, you can be a top level creator with significant monetization and significant engagement, building an audience. But you have to lean into it. It's a lot of work, but that's the main thing. It's like once something you do catches fire, you have to quadruple your efforts, and you can grow it. There's no end to how big you can grow it.
Nice.
All right, we got a few more.
So Leonard was talking about having your dream feature made. So I'm in that conundrum. I keep pushing back my project. I have a low, no budget feature project that I want to do. And I've talked to potential investors. I go to film markets, etc. What amount of time would you say for a plan D, because I read your article, to get this micro budget made should my financing not come together, and you could say start tomorrow of shooting? Thank you.
So is that directed to anyone in particular?
To me? Yeah. No.
Alejandro and Matt.
I swear I got good advice too.
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
No, start shooting. I will say my biggest regret with Cop vs. Killer is that I had that script for over 10 years, and I don't feel that waiting made the movie any better. There were other opportunities to make it for less money or no money, and I'm happy with the way it came together, but I learned so much on that movie. I wish I had done it 10 years earlier, because I would have carried those lessons on to other projects earlier in my career. Your movie's not going to come out exactly the way you want.
Ever.
It's not going to come out. Yeah, you're going to have a bunch of disappointments and frustrations and some miracles that are going to come out better than you could have imagined. And the longer you wait, the longer you're just keeping yourself from those lessons.
Yep.
So honestly, you just have to go do it.
All right. I like that.
Get
it done.
Hi, my name's Megan. Nice to meet you guys.
Yo.
I actually have 2 questions, if that's okay.
No, just one.
I'm glad I'm glad you said you had good advice, because my first one is for you. What is your perspective of being a woman in the film industry, and do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I think it's a tough game. Like, a lot of people don't take you seriously as like somebody who's a little bit younger. I mean, like, I'm not young anymore, but like a lot of people don't take you seriously for that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of like being native, people don't take you seriously, and I think it's just about proving yourself and like keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, that sounds really cheesy, but like I really enjoy the stuff that I do, and that pushes me forward. And there's a lot of hardships, but I think those hardships make you a better artist, and they make you more passionate about the things that you want to do and more solidified in the journey that you want to take. And so I'm very happy for all of those things that have like taught me like some really hard lessons, but I wouldn't exchange that for anything. I think it's made me the filmmaker that I am today, and I'm very proud of myself now.
Nice.
Thank you. And my next question is more so directed at Matt, but feel free for any of you. How, because I know you do the YouTube video series and all that, how do you avoid burnout when you're doing so many videos a week?
It's important to quit. I just quit. I just give up. I burn out regularly is the answer. Like at least once a year, I just kind of run out of gas, and I kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I have found ways to. It's been really good for me to stop that process and then come back to it over and over again, because the other thing is, finding your target audience and giving them the content they want is also a moving target, because the nature of content changes every year and a half, 2 years. Because when YouTube Shorts was beginning to compete with TikTok a couple of years ago, viewing habits shifted towards I don't know what they were calling them, micro shorts or something like that, just short vertical videos. They were putting all their effort into that, and I couldn't figure out why my long form videos were just tanking all of a sudden and not making any money, and I was doing the same thing that I had done for 2 or 3 years, and it just, so I just stopped. I stopped for like 3 months, and then I was sitting in a hotel, traveling someplace, and I was like, oh, I haven't uploaded anything in a while. I should just upload a short. I'll just do a short because I don't want to keep editing these long forms if no one's going to watch. So I took a couple of hours. I cut it on my phone, and I uploaded it on TikTok, and then I didn't look at it for the rest of the day. And the next morning, I woke up and had one of those moments where I look at my analytics, and I'm like, well, that can't be right. And that video got 30 million views on TikTok, and I uploaded it on YouTube. It ended up, that was 30 or 40 million. The video got over 90 million views, that one thing, and reinvigorated all of the just dismal numbers I was getting for several months. So like when things aren't working, I tend to just back off. I will just say like, whatever I'm doing is not working, I need to like stop, reformulate, or just get away from the content and then revisit it. And then usually I stumble upon something that works creatively. So,
nice. Yeah. All right, we got 2 more questions.
Oh.
Thank you. Firstly, I just want to say thank you guys for doing what you do. You're an inspiration to all of us, and it's been amazing watching you grow as artists and super inspiring.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Yeah. First thing is, I think we would all love to see a buddy movie with Matt and Alejandro.
Hey.
Shaandiin, can you direct?
Well, that's a good idea.
Get ready.
That would be a trip.
But I actually have a question for each of you, and I'll just rattle them out and then sit. Shaandiin, have you incorporated your brother and collaborated with him in any of the work that you do, since you said he was kind of your inspiration and,
Nice.
and he was the creative one, or more creative? And I'd love to hear about that. Matt, many years ago you did a workshop for people that were looking to get into the YouTube space. Have you considered reformatting that kind of a workshop for now that the landscape of social media has changed?
Okay.
And Alejandro, what was the turning point that for this film you said you let it go, you didn't care what other people, you didn't ask for permission anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I was curious about the event that happened there.
Yeah, both my brothers are huge inspirations to me, and like I'm always talking to them about my films, and like they always have ideas. They're always pushing me harder. I think they both love film, and so it's really nice to just talk film with them. Or my younger brother has like a podcast that he just like talks about films that he watches, and it's like really well put together, and like honestly much more well-formed opinions than I have, and it's inspiring to see them still doing the thing that they're excited about, even if their job isn't film. And so very proud of them. And yeah, like my older brother did my like score for my first film. They're both helping me this weekend. Like I think we still have like that sibling need to like be creative, and so like I'm very happy that we have that, and I hope that we continue to have that for the rest of our life. And if they ever want to like have like film jobs, like I'm here for that.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I used to run something called the Web Series Workshop back then, when like web series was a thing before it all just kind of fell under the umbrella of content. And I have wanted to. I get invited to coffee meetings a lot where people like, I just want to pick your brain about a couple things, and they end up being 3.5 hours of like just talking about where the platforms are going and what's changing, because it changes so fast. Yeah, if people are interested, I would love to do that. Again, I'm also, one of the things I'm planning for the beginning of next year, I'm writing a lot of this stuff now, is one of the things I tell people is the Master Ken YouTube channel was the 3rd channel that I tried. I tried 2 others that were varying degrees of failure. And the first one was very personal, and I just put my short films on there that I spent months like writing and shooting, and get like 200 views, and no one watched them, and I was super discouraged. So then I created one for my company and did some commercials and some contests and stuff, and got a couple viral videos on that. And then the Enter the Dojo Show channel was the one that like took off. But I'm reviving my second channel, my company channel. I'm gonna do like some retrospective videos going back through my award-winning short films and episodes of Enter the Dojo, and sort of talking about the behind-the-scenes stuff of how we made the episodes and things that came up, challenges that we faced, or discoveries that we had through that process. So that will be another way that I can try to convey some of the things I learned along the way of creating that. But if people are interested in some kind of workshop or something, we should talk about it, because I do love talking about what is happening with the platforms, and like I said, it changes all the time. So you can't like get a strategy and then use it for 5 years. You get a strategy and you're lucky if it's applicable for 6 months to a year before the landscape changes. But I do love talking about that stuff. So if you're interested, I guess let me know and we could put something like that together.
We could chit chat. You say the turning point, right? It was the pandemic. When I had an apartment in Santa Monica, and I shared an apartment with now my friend Aaron Horwitz. I had a bedroom, and that was like I was going back and forth because I couldn't get anyone to finance anything that I was doing here. So I was like, well, I gotta leave, and I was going back and forth, and then having the apartment and everything, losing that was I had I remember $10,000 saved up, and it just pop, and it just depleted, and you're like, what the hell am I doing? So I came back to Albuquerque. Well, I never really left, but I guess we lose the apartment. And then we made 2 short films. I got kind of like, we didn't really have a deadline on when this was gonna finish. We didn't know what we could do, so we just, I wrote 2 short films, and one was ridiculously violent, which was blood positive, because I was angry. I was angry that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, I could be spending time with my family right now, but here I am locked up in an apartment, and it sucked. And then I couldn't go back home because my dad has pneumonia, so I could probably get him sick and blah, blah, whatever. So me not caring and writing a movie that was drastically different from like the comedy stuff that I do to something that's just like there's no comedy at all. And then doing The Wrong Guy, which was, I also worked with him and Ryan, and it was, that was more of the stuff that I used to do. But then getting the day before the shoot, I got COVID, so I had to direct remotely, and that was another, like, Jesus Christ. Remember that?
I do.
Good Lord, man.
I remember Ryan just cutting you off at certain points when you were like, no, I want to do it. He's like, no, you're done, moving on. And he could just turn the monitor off. It was like,
and I'm like, Ryan's just like, and then, dude, my mom just died. Oh, hey. He's just improvising. That was it. Just doing something.
All right, here is our last question of the evening.
Okay, this is going to sound like a really weird intro to this question, but I'm going to just go through it. And this question is for all 3 of you. Hello, everybody. My name is Chad Terry. I am the current city producer of the 48-Hour Film Project. You guys have mentioned that.
All right.
I do a podcast called Craft Beer and Comics, a podcast. Ming Chen has actually been on it. Matt, you've been on it.
Nice.
I'm trying to help someone create a comic book. There's a comic book creator that is going to have me in one of his comic books. I'm an actor. Last week I had like 15 different auditions. However, it sounds like, yeah, that's awesome and it's so rad, but I'm having this huge imposter syndrome, and I don't know that I deserve any of it. Have you guys gone through that? And it sounds like a very selfish question, but I hope that if anybody else has had or experienced this, that's why I'm asking it.
Every day.
Yeah, so so if you continue to deal with it, how have you overcome it? Yeah, that's kind of the question, the imposter syndrome.
Thank you.
I guess I deal with imposter syndrome all the time, so totally hear you on that. I think for me, it's about like reconnecting to the things that you enjoy and like the things that like make you feel good, and like I think those things can like kind of take you out of it and remind you that like you are what you love to do. And like that doesn't necessarily mean like, I don't know, I guess like other people's opinions, like I'm a people pleaser. I love like hearing reassurance from other people and like reassurance of my art and that kind of stuff. But I think at the end of the day that can be very exhausting. And so yeah, I mean, like I just like, whether it's like doing like watercoloring or like literally anything that like reconnects me back to like the little kid in me wanting to do art, I feel like that like makes me feel a lot better, and like it gives me power to like move forward.
No.
You don't get it?
No.
Oh, dude, I get it all the time. Yeah, I quit every month, man. Every month I'm like, it's not worth it. Fuck it. And then I shower and then I relax and I'm like, all right.
Well, the showers do work, do they?
Oh, damn.
The shower thing.
I told you.
Or I eat something and then I
Or
realize
yeah,
I was just hangry.
Yeah. No, I will say it took me a while of being on set feeling like I shouldn't be here, like I'm when I was starting out, I was like, I'm a local actor and there are movie stars here and like, what am I doing here? And I'm gonna fuck this up and they're gonna figure out that I shouldn't be here and everything. And, but finding that like, if I could just focus on the job and the process, everything worked out fine every time, because it really is, again, no matter how much money there is, no matter whether it's a movie star, no matter what fancy camera or how big the set, how big and elaborate the set is, when it comes down to it, you are doing the same thing that you do in an acting class or in an indie film. The process is the process. And if you focus on the process, it always seemed to be fine. So when I was just like, finding myself talking to a famous director who is just trying to get what he or she needs to get in order to move on to the next thing, and we get it or we don't. And I think that's been the most useful thing for me, was to figure out, to remember that the process is the process, no matter what else is going on.
It's true. Same. No, it's the same. They encapsulated it perfectly.
All right. So, that's it.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. I really appreciate everybody turning out. Thank you.
Go to AFMX tomorrow. Go support independent cinema. Let's all go tomorrow.
Yeah, so before we go, I wanted to say thank you to the National Hispanic Cultural Center for hosting this event. The New Mexico Film Office for also participating. And my good friend Steve Pace in the back with Adobe Productions for live streaming this and helping put this together. We appreciate you guys coming out. We hope to see more of you guys out here producing things that we can come support and see. Please, please, please keep making your creative endeavors. It's worthy, it's worth it. You are worthy, and it's worth it for you to do it. So please don't ever stop. You're not an imposter. You're the real deal. Just say yes to the dress. Make it happen. Good night.
And use AI.
Nice. Well said. Well said. Hell yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, there's a mixer outside. Have a drink.
Yeah, please stay. Let's have a drink and chat.
Yeah, these guys are still available to answer questions. So anybody who didn't get their questions answered, feel free.
That was awesome, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Really great job.
Yeah, I was born here, live here. Yeah.
When did you graduate from the program?
UNM, 2015.
2015. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
A long time ago.
That's nonsense. You're still young.